Hey everyone, my name is Dave Pluff, and in this video what I'm going to be doing is showing you all the cool things I learned about in the intermediate Canvas workshop. There's going to be things like VoiceThread, question banks, grading rubrics, and buttons. Oh my god, buttons. So come with me and let's go check out the Canvas site. And so here we are on Canvas, and I did put us into student view just to take you around on this tour, and we've got the welcome banner up above, letting you know that you can click on the modules unit at the left here. And I've also got the course syllabus ready for download as one complete document, or I can have a link to the administrative materials module, which breaks down the syllabus into different components. And then below the course summary, everything that is coming due. So let's just go ahead and go to the modules page first. The test module, that's up here. I've got some of the things that I've tested out for the intermediate Canvas workshop. The first thing is the test page for banners and buttons, and I did make a somewhat large banner here welcoming my students to Art 101, which is mainly the course that I teach semester after semester. It's Introduction to Art. I put my name down there and letting you know to click the buttons below for access to course information. I've got the three buttons. The first one is for Lesson 1. This one also opens up a new page, which is a little confusing to me. The other buttons open it up in the same page that we were just on, or I should say a new tab. So I've got the lecture material here, a study guide, supporting video on linear perspective, an assignment on linear perspective I'll be showing you in a moment, and then a quiz, which each module I think should have, or at least some type of assessment. So we're going to close that tab. And then the second button gives us the orientation module, which is what we created in the basic or beginner Canvas workshop about your instructor, Q&A discussion board, text header, and such. We're going to go back to the buttons here, and then the administrative material, which is the course syllabus, lecture schedule, and late policy. I like to divide my syllabus up into different bite-sized parts that are much more digestible for the student instead of looking at one 12-page document. When you go into the course syllabus, I did make it with links to outside sources. So for instance, for the required software of the course, if they don't have the Google Chrome browser, they can click that and it'll take them right to the page where they can download the Google Chrome. And I've also included our Division of Information Technology, particularly for the 365 Office Suite. And that can be found right here. So the next thing I think I would like to show you would be how to do a question bank. I think one of the most useful things that I learned during this week was how to create a test bank or a question bank. And I'm going to show you how I did that, and then I'm going to input some of those questions into an exam. On the left-hand side down here, you just press the quizzes button. It brings you to this page here, and to the far right you have the three buttons to help you navigate, and we're going to click Manage Question Banks. And the question bank that I created for this intermediate workshop was the syllabus scavenger hunt. I put a total of 10 questions in here, and some as easy as what is my email address, what day do the modules open, if I accept late work. I thought those would all be great questions to put on a entry-level quiz. Then we're going to go over to modules. And in my test module here, I have a test quiz for a question bank. Here, I'm going to click Edit. I'm going to move over to questions, add a new question group. I'm going to link to the question bank called Syllabus Scavenger Hunt. I'm going to select that. I only want 5 questions. I'm going to leave them at 1 point each. And then I'm going to create my group. Save and publish. Preview the exam. and they've been inputted properly. So that's all you have to do for adding questions from a question bank into one of your quizzes. The thing I'm going to show you is the rubric that I created, and I'm going to use it for grading for this assignment called Creating an Artwork Using Linear Perspective. I am in the student view, and I'm going to click on the assignment just to give you an idea of what we're going to be doing. But the goal for this project is to create an artwork in linear perspective. It was one of the real significant contributions of the Italian Renaissance. It totally made us rethink how to see and how to create the illusion of space on a two-dimensional surface. I've got my required media up here, step-by-step instructions, and then I also do examples for the students. So the very basic thing that they need to do is an artwork that's got 7 shapes that they've turned into 3-dimensional forms. While squares tend to be the easiest, they can also do circles and triangles, rectangles, and if they have nothing at all to do over the weekend, they can do this. The students can also see pretty much what they're expected to do as far as the rubric is concerned. I've got 5 different criteria, each of them worth 5 points, so the total amount of points in this project is worth 25. So I looked to see if directions were followed. I asked them to consider the concepts, attention to craft and application of technique, attention to the overall design aesthetics, and creativity applied to problem solving. So let's go take a look through the Speed Grader and see how the rubrics are used in grading. And here we are in Speed Grader. I've already uploaded a project as the test student, so this is what the student submitted. And I have the rubric here off to the right. And what I found most helpful with the rubrics is that it really cuts down on the amount of questions you get back from students wondering why they didn't score so highly on a particular assignment. So we can go down through and see if directions were followed. If I forget what my criteria was, I can open it up here, and it says read the instructions both before and after you complete your project. Make sure you did everything that was asked, review the examples provided. Everything here looks great. I think it's worth 5 points. The concepts learned. Let's say that this was in reality a little bit messy. We might do 4 points. Attention to overall design aesthetic. These are all roughly the same size. They should be varied in terms of their length. And then creativity to problem solving. Let's say that this is on average. And again, this is just an example. This would have been a perfect project had a student turned it in. So we click Save, and we have 20 points up here. And when we go to the grade book, the student has 20 points. And that's how you use a rubric for grading. So one final thing I'd like to show you in this presentation is the voice thread that I created. So over here in the test module, I added the test voice thread. I activated that. And basically what this assignment was for an ancient civilizations class that I taught. I've got the link for everyone here. And when the voice thread opens up, we have a main page. And it's basically an early start to my normal presentation. This is literally my PowerPoint slides that I uploaded and I spoke over. But when we look at all the different images here, we've got some of the cathedrals. And each of the cathedrals, for instance, the Amiens Cathedral, I've broken it into a group for 4 people. And on the next image, they're going to lead us through a tour. And each of them had to give 2 distinct different points of interest about this church. And so we'll listen to Kristen's here first.
Hello, and welcome to our tour of Amiens Cathedral. Before we go in, how many of you have visited other cathedrals? Ah, very good. What you will notice right away is the extraordinary unity of this cathedral. Now, some cathedrals have elements that don't quite fit together smoothly, but not Amiens. That unity is because Amiens was built over a relatively short period of time and with a great degree of continuity of those in charge of the building.
And then let's choose another one. Let's choose Nyla.
Another interesting feature of the Amiens Cathedral is the multitude of tombs located inside. The tombs are mostly occupied by past bishops, and most of them are buried under the choir, though there are a few exceptions who were buried in other locations before the choir was built.
And so that's basically what they had to do. It was a really very easy project for them. Not a whole lot of questions as far as how do I do this, or technical questions that they may have had difficulty with. It was surprisingly smooth. Anyway, all my students had a great time doing these presentations, and I'm definitely going to be using these in the future. Well, that was it. We've reached the end of our tour. I hope you had a good time in this class. I definitely did. I learned a whole bunch of new things I can implement this semester. I hope you all have a great fall 2020 semester.